This is our 1988 Coleman Sequoia. She's been through a lot. She actually needs brand new canvas, but like most people, can't afford it right now. It's quite costly. So we've been doing patch repairs on old canvas, and so far it's held up for the last 5 years that we've had her. So I'll take you around and show you some areas that have already been fixed. This is fabric that we got at Jo-Ann Fabrics. It's regular canvas. It's thin because it's a newer type. It's not like what you would get factory. But this has been on for almost 5 years now, and it's waterproof. Not getting any leaks. This shows how bad the condition of the canvas and the screening was when we got her. They just had tape that didn't really close well. And every year when we open her up, we find new holes, we patch them. So this is an example of what I'm going to be doing in the front. I've had a lot of people ask how I do this online, and from what I understand, there aren't any videos on the process. I do it real cost effective. I just keep checking because, like I said, this is the original 88 canvas. This is nothing new. But see, here's an area that they had taped and I patched. When we come around the front, this was the very first one that I did. I've replaced the canvas inside and then went to Walmart and got a roll of screening for the outside for $5. And all it is, if you can do a basic sewing stitch, you can do this. You don't have to have any great skill or any special tools. This is what I use. The fabric from Jo-Ann Fabrics. You need upholstery needles, very important, and you still poke your fingers. You need your pins. There's the curved needle, some really good thick thread, and I've used both of these for waterproofing. They run about $5 to $7 at Walmart. They work beautifully.
They have the Scotchgard heavy duty. I can't speak. Heavy duty water shield and silicone water guard.
And I've used both of them on this canvas and they work great.
It's by Atsko.
But these are carried in just regular storage. Don't need a great cost just to do patch jobs. We're just doing this until we get to the point where we can just buy a new canvas for it. But for now, it keeps it dry, comfortable. And once you change the panels, actually this is thinner than the factory, so it lets a little bit more light in through the fabric.
Okay. Well, let's go take a look inside.
Take a little look inside and show you how it looks during the day. She can't get up in here. So this was one I did last summer, and see with the door semi-closed, you can see on the inside what's been patched because it's so much brighter. And that was the opposite side of the first window that I did. And like I said, these patches have held beautifully, and we've had lots of people ask how I'm doing it and what I'm using. So I figured, well, I guess it's time for me to make my first YouTube video. So that's it for now. The first stage is going to be going out there and actually cutting out the bad square. Come on, Sadie. Come on, Edgar. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this old piece out because I have enough fabric to completely do this section. So this stuff is just, it's so old and flaky. I just keep checking, and every time I got to do a piece, I just do a piece. And it doesn't take a real long time to do it either. Like I said, basic sewing skills. If you can thread a needle and you can do basic stitches, you can do this. I was really nervous the first time I did it, but I was like, well, too far in now. Okay. That's just completely
Sadie's
wrong.
here for moral support.
So I already cut a piece to put up here, and all I do is size it and pin it as close as I can to the thick seam because that's what we're going to grab onto. Just like that. Actually pushing this today because we have a camping trip coming up and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I have to get this done and weatherproofed so I can close her up this evening. Which, yeah, the process can go that quick. It doesn't take long to waterproof it with this stuff. Put on a coat, let it dry, put on a coat, let it dry. I usually do about 3 or 4 coats. And then when I give her her yearly wash down, I'll get some more and just retouch it up just to make sure it's holding well. So we just do a little match up. And then I'll pin the rest of it. And then I'll show you how I do the actual attaching it to what's already there.
I'll come around this side.
And it don't have to be gorgeous. It just has to work right now. That's the main thing. If it works and it holds until you can, you know, get a new one if you're in this position, this works. You can see this is about to need to be changed too, but I kind of hold off on doing it until I have to, just in case things financially flip to where I can just go ahead and order the new one, then I won't be wasting my time with this. I just do it as I have to, just to make it work. These other campers understand when you want to go camping, you want to go. You don't want to be dealing with fabric and sewing and all that junk. This outer seam can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I always do like the easier stuff first, and then where I can just fold this over and bring it tight, and so the fabric is nice and taut in there like that.
Okay.
And that way it holds better, I think. So we'll just put little ones in here just to tighten it for now. Oh, that's not straight. Oops, see, got me. I do that about at least 10, 12 times. Okay. That should about do it. Enough to get this side started. So that's going to be the next thing that gets done. Is actually now taking a curved needle like this. This thread is Coats and Clark 1 3/4. I think I got this at Joann's if I'm not mistaken. But it works very well. But sometimes if you pull too hard with the needle, the top will snap.
Okay.
But once you get it in there and it's tight, it holds really good. And I've not had to put anything over it like beeswax or anything like that. It's just straight spray. Done deal. Okay, I'm just going to trim this off. And a bit further out so you can get something to grab onto, because this cotton type, I don't know what kind of fabric that is. Like almost a velour, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it being so old, it will shred easy if you don't get a little bit of grip from underneath it. So that's the only part about this that can be a pain in the butt. Just gently pull on it just to make sure it's tight.
Yeah, sorry, the lighting isn't so great.
And sometimes I'll do that little thing where you loop it through run it through the loop so it makes a little knot when you close it down.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that it's good and tight. And I'm not pulling too much on the thread. There really isn't any rhyme or reason or pattern. I like to start towards the top. That way, by the time I get to the bottom, my arms are tired. I'm ready to not have them up. And if you're worried about making it pretty, don't. Especially if you're dealing with an older camper like this. Because it really just makes it look like you've used it a long time and you love it. And you're doing everything you can to save it. Which this camper, sad to say, when we first got it, was poorly treated. They took the air conditioning unit out of the top and didn't block it up properly. So we've been fighting with some roof issues. Last summer we took the roof completely down on the inside. And being newbies, we didn't think to seal the outside before we did the inside.
Yeah.
So it rained and water got underneath it and ruined the work we did. So this year we're using different materials because the materials we used, yes, they were lightweight, but they didn't stand up. So we're doing a very light wood that is going to work really well, I think.
So that's basically,
That's just it.
that's all you're
You
doing.
just do a little stitch, tight.
All right, I'm going to get a closer shot, so go ahead and do another one.
Go all the way around it. I start with this top part because it's a little harder grabbing onto this thick stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, see?
careful.
You can't really pull it back. So I'm trying to get onto that part I cut off. Right there we go.
Okay.
Run it through
And
this
then
hole.
And then just
Just
tighten
tighten
it
it up.
Okay.
Just keep doing that all the way around. And then once you get it all done, pull your pins out. And then we'll be doing the waterproofing spray.
Okay.
So I'll see you in a bit.